Joining momentarily, Kelly Cutrara. And we are going to be on AM 640, that's 640 Toronto, talking about some stuff and things. Don't know. I may even be taking some phone calls from their audience. So hang out. We will be we'll be ready to go. I don't normally go live this early before a segment, but I imagine 12:33 is when things will go. So I would do a little dance, but I don't do that kind of thing. If you missed our live stream, by the way, you can watch the replay of Ask a Traffic Cop on our YouTube channel or on any of the platforms that we stream to. Because let me throw it up there so you can see it. Actually, no, I won't do that. I won't do that. Hey, my wife is listening, and so is Chase. Kelly is always fun. Kelly is always fun. We're doing that regular thing where every 2 weeks we get on the radio with Kelly, and every 2 weeks, opposing weeks, I'm on with Jerry Agar on NewsTalk 1010. So we're moving around, moving and grooving, and talking about stuff and things, traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, and we get to dip into to their show, which is great because it's different audiences. We spend so much of our time on social media. We also want to share with traditional media, which is great that we have the opportunity to do that. Everybody wins. And I got to say, I'm really impressed that I get such great questions from, or have been getting such great questions from Kelly's audience. I like it. I like it a lot. And as 3 minutes away. I was asked if we wanted to have the radio play in the background, before the show. I'm like, no, I'll come chat with you. I got to chat with everybody and let them know what's coming. But this is you could also tune in. You could tune in right now. Oh, somebody, Adam Photographer just liked, or Daniel Adam Photographer just liked this morning's advert for the show. Always interesting. Hope everybody had a great long weekend. I know the week is already almost done. No, but I assumed we'd be doing that. So thank you. I got the update from producer David.
Okay, great.
But I always look forward to calls. Calls are good. I like it. I like it a lot. But I said that already. Let's see here. I got stuff. I was talking to Sergeant Drummond earlier today, and we're going to be setting up some discussions, a podcast episode talking about car theft. I think that's going to be pretty cool. They're going to guest on Ask a Traffic Cop 2 to talk about car theft. Lots of cool things coming down the pipe. Lots of cool guests. Hey, if you think that you should be a guest on our Ask a Traffic Cop or on TPS Traffic Jam, you got to send me a message. We can do that. We can do that. Safety professionals, traffic people, so many interesting things. I'm a traffic geek. Okay. Getting my notebook ready because I'm expecting all these, serious questions. Honda Indy tickets are now on sale. Is TPS coming again for sure? I've not spoken to the people for setup, but I am planning to be there. As we're planning to have a booth there. We've had a discussion. But you know what? I'm gonna reach out and ask. My list of things to do for when I'm off the air. Making notes. Indy. I'm just dealing with warm weather. Being used to this warm weather. 2 minutes. We're counting down. We're getting closer. Honda Indy. It's good. I need more earplugs. It gets noisy. Holy moly. Anybody who wonders what an engine can do to a community, try walking around Honda Indy for a while. And I know the comparison's not fair, an F1 or Indy style race car, and comparing that to what the streets sound like. But speaking to people who live near the highway and experiencing motorcycles that have no exhaust pipe, they're just straight piped out, or cars with straight pipes ripping up and down, they are loud. Maybe not Honda Indy loud, but they're loud. Not cool. Well, kind of cool if you're wearing earplugs, but not if I had to live next to it. That would be terrible. And if you're watching and don't know who I am, I'm surprised. I'm kidding. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service, and I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff all the time. We did our live stream from 10 to 11, and now we are joining Kelly Cutrara on AM 640, 640 Toronto. I got to figure out what the tagline is to be most accurate when throwing it out there.
Okay, we're coming up.
Cool. Take another sip of my bubbly. Oh, I like the cherry.
You've got a parking ticket in your hand. You've overstayed your welcome. Now you are me, useful for
Listening to the Kelly Cutrara Show. Great tune. David Hunter, who is our technical producer right now. It's a great way to get into Sean Shapiro, our friend who is a constable and also known as the TikTok cop. Sean, welcome back. It's always good to have you on a Thursday, and what a beautiful day it is.
I haven't had the pleasure of being outside yet. I came in when the sun was still down, and I'm looking forward to going home and enjoying it.
Wow. Okay. Well, I hope your shift ends then shortly after we talk, because it's a beauty day out there right now. Can we start off by talking about something that I thought was interesting? It's congestion within the streets of Toronto. It's not going to get any better. In fact, we know that in early next month, they're going to be shutting down a large stretch of Queen Street from Bay Street to Victoria Street, right in the downtown core. That's because of the Ontario line that's going in. And then the deputy mayor tweeted out that they are going to make sure that Jarvis, between Jarvis and Bathurst, that on Dundas Street doesn't close down at all unless it's an emergency where they have to do some emergency construction. But congestion is a massive problem. So the deputy mayor has asked Ontario to increase fines for drivers that are blocking intersections. I believe right now it's $85 to $450 across the city. And she wants it raised from $85 to $450 across the city. Is that the right way to clear congestion, do you think? Or should we be doing something else?
Well, congestion is what happens with this giant city that we have and everything going on and the constant construction. So it's a problem. But one of the biggest things we could do to prevent congestion is to have drivers and pedestrians and everyone using the road be courteous to one another. It's that whole me concept where the congestion is actually being caused.
Yeah, but it's tough. Like, I have to say, honestly, after waiting for so many cycles of lights, you're kind of like, me now, please, because nobody's letting you in.
But that's the problem. It's because we're not being courteous to one another. Now, how do we prevent people from doing it? Ticketing is certainly one way to go. Affecting people's pocketbooks is a great reminder to not do it again. And I don't know how to get the message across any other way. We talk about it all the time on Ask a Traffic Cop, but it's not just congestion. It's caused by cars jumping through, but pedestrians who walk out and don't allow cars to go through on the full cycle of their light. So it's everybody contributing to the problem, and we all have to take responsibility for our part to play in it.
Okay, and I agree with you on that, because you try and go left off Jarvis. Let's say you're trying to get onto that Gardner ramp, and I'll just pick Jarvis as one because it's right near Queens Quay where we're working. So you try and go left there, and unfortunately, people want to continue walking when the hand is up or the numbers are counting down, and so you miss your ability to go left, and you're kind of stuck out there. So you have no choice but to get out there. Should we have some sort of traffic enforcement handing out tickets to pedestrians just to get the message across that we're all in this together? Because I never see a pedestrian getting a ticket.
Well, I'll tell you, the whole concept is that, or issue is that many pedestrians don't believe that they have to give right of way, and they can be charged for failing to yield or for preventing a vehicle that's lawfully in the intersection from making their turn. It's not. It's a misunderstanding that they believe that they always have the right of way, and it causes a tremendous number of problems. You get one person who's taking their last step to get off of the roadway, and the next person puts their foot down and walks into the roadway. That is not okay. We don't see people looking left and right before they're crossing. They just walk out into traffic. So that's definitely a problem. And that's not to knock on pedestrians as a whole. It's just the idea of being courteous. So, what's funny is I get to an intersection when I'm in the role of pedestrian, and I, stop, I look, if a car is trying to clear the intersection, I let them go. And they're astonished because very rarely do people, I guess, give them that ability.
Okay, let's move on to something. Diane Sachs is a Toronto City Councillor. We had her on the show yesterday. She was talking about how she believes it's time for food delivery services, people that are using e-bikes, to get some sort of ID number on them, so that if they do ride on the sidewalk or hit somebody, that you actually have a number that you can then reference and get them to be responsible for whatever they did. And she mentioned, I said, well, can't we just license them? And she said, no, we can't license e-bikes or other motorized scooters. Can you speak to that? Is that a provincial thing?
Well, there's no license required, and I mean, they could create a bylaw, something possibly. I'm not a lawyer; I don't create laws, but I imagine they could do anything they wanted to within bylaw structure. When it comes to e-bikes, though, they're motor vehicles that, through the magic of legislation, are being treated as bicycles if they adhere to certain rules. Like they can't go more than 32 kilometers an hour, they can't have a motor more than 500 watts, they can't be over 120 kilos unless they qualify for being cargo bikes. But the big thing is they're not being treated as motor vehicles, even though they technically are. Now, 100 years ago, I believe we had license plates on bicycles in the city, and many of the jurisdictions that looked into doing this determined that it was far too expensive and created too much work to license bicyclists. But I've talked about it because I think having people understand the laws and be responsible for the laws is a good thing. But people who advocate for cycling don't agree with me.
Yeah, I just got a text from someone that said, "Hi, Kelly. I have a BMW Enduro style motorcycle." I was talking to somebody who has an electric bike the same size as mine. He says he doesn't need insurance or plates. Who's liable if he hits something?
Well, let's just clarify. If a e-bike or an electric bicycle is capable of going 33 kilometers an hour, or has a big motor on it, or is being modified so it's not limited to that top speed, it's a motorcycle. It requires license, ownership, and insurance just like any other motorcycle on the road. It is a motor vehicle at that point. It's only if it follows the guidelines of the legislation for e-bike. And we've seen people doing regularly 60, 80 kilometers an hour on e-bikes. We've seen people on the DVP with e-bikes. They're clearly not following the law, and those people need to be held accountable. They can be charged for driving without insurance, $5,000 to $25,000 fine. They can get ticketed for all the things that they do. It's a big
How
problem.
often
And
does that happen?
do they get charged, or do they
Yeah.
violate? I see
Get
violators
charged.
all the time when I'm off duty. When I'm on duty, I'm not so lucky.
Yeah.
But
Where's a cop when you need him?
there you go.
You say that to yourself? Yeah.
I really wish I had lights and sirens on my personal vehicle. I honestly, 2 days ago, I had an e-bike, not an e-bike, e-kick scooter. So that's the stand-up small wheels with the handlebar. Those are prohibited in Toronto, but I saw one doing 60 kilometers an hour on Lakeshore. Those are limited to 24 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
To be legal. So there's someone clearly who has a motorcycle, because it falls within the definition once it goes faster than 24K or has a seat on it. We're not seeing the enforcement or the education, and we're trying to educate people, but people are choosing to do what they want.
Why aren't we seeing the enforcement? Are our cops just way too busy?
Well, there's certainly an element of having a staffing issue where we're hiring more people, but we're also busy with calls. We also prioritize our calls so that we're focused on the big four. So speeding, aggressive driving, distracted driving, and impaired driving. That's not to say that we don't handle all of the other things. If we see it, we deal with it, but we have to be there to deal with it. And very often we're not seeing it when it's happening, or maybe they're being really good at identifying police cars and slowing down.
Okay.
But it is a problem.
Let me ask you another question here. This is from the text board. Does everyone have to wear a helmet on a motorcycle? What happened with the fight to have people allowed to just wear a turban?
So in Ontario, if you're a member of the Sikh faith, you are exempt. You can, if you meet certain criteria, not wear a helmet, and that's a religious exemption. Everybody else, however, must wear a helmet regardless of age when operating a motor vehicle, and that is also for e-bikes. They have to wear a helmet, but e-bikes, it's motorcycle helmet or a bicycle helmet.
All right. Good to know. We're going to open up the phone line, Sean. We're going to get you to stick around. 416-870-6400, 1-888-225-TALK. Phone lines are open, and we'll get you to field some calls if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
Perfect. All right. Sean Shapiro, the TikTok traffic cop, is standing by with to answer your questions. That's next on the Kelly Cutrara Show.
Okay, and while we're holding for a commercial break, just to acknowledge, I got to move this over. I got the live stream in the wrong window. It's making me twist my neck, and I didn't sleep well. Did not sleep well, and today my head is unhappy. My head and neck are unhappy. So John getting slapped by legal says, and we're back. Yes, we are. We are indeed. What is this? Oh, we should do an outdoor Ask a Traffic Cop episode. You know what? I love being out on location. We still last year, was it last year? Was it 2 years? It's Groundhog Day for me. So we did one at some point before today. We had 40,000 people in a live on TikTok because we were on location at a Tim Hortons drive-through. It was actually for Emergency Services Appreciation Day, held across the street from York University. But it was wild. It was so much fun. So it got to meet and greet so many of our listeners and followers. So it was a really great opportunity, and we really do want to do more of that. So I'll keep you in the loop when we can do that again. Stephen Bell says, "Hi, Sean. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too." And Big Jeff Fresh says, "Never know where I'm gonna pop." I don't know if you mean like you're going to pop up or I'm going to pop up, but yeah, I'm all, mind you, I'm in the same place, with the same background, doing the same thing, but with different people listening. So if you've just tuned in, we are just on a commercial break with Kelly Cutrara on 640 Toronto, and we've chatted about some stuff and things, but we're coming back from break and we're going to take calls from their audience. So always nice to hear from new people. And I mean that by the audience. We have had some great questions previously when doing this. And this is a show that's played across Ontario. So it's really nice to hear from a diverse Ontarian audience, like from people who are not just Toronto, because we get different questions, different stuff happening in different areas. I really like it. Let's see what's going on. And if you wanted to join us tomorrow, if you were interested, I just want to let you know that we have TPS_bike cart. Aaron Urquhart is going to join us on the Ask a Traffic Cop live stream tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And I hope to do more of this where I have guests on a regular basis, because it's nice. It's nice to share and have different opinions. And today we had Logan Grant from Brooks, Alberta. He's a community peace officer, special constable. He's a civilian uniformed person who enforces Traffic Act there, and it's so cool to hear how different the traffic laws are there. They have serious fines for different things that are low cost fines here are super expensive there, and some things that are super expensive here are not there. So I really love when we get to chat and see and hear the differences, subtle differences. Let's see here. Oh, John getting slapped by legal says it would be fun to have two people while patrolling and the passenger to ensure safety asks the questions or follows the chat. Could be interesting change of settings. Yeah, doing it. The problem is I'm not just talking into a telephone. I have a mixing board and multiple screens, and to do it the way we do it, where we're broadcasting everywhere, we could do one that's just on one platform that way. Yeah. Interesting ideas. I like it. I like it a lot. I gotta stop. I've said that like 3 times now. I gotta stop saying that, because now I gotta watch the movie. If you don't already know what movie that is. Wait, now I don't know which movie it is. I know which comedian it is. 30 seconds. Thank you for the update. Oh, John's going to wear a special hat. Let's see here. Would it be okay to present my garage insurance policy? I just broke my pen. Did that just go in my drink? I think so. I just snapped the clip off of my pen, and I think somehow it landed in my can.
Looks like we're in for another record-breaking day. We're at 26 degrees already, and it's only 12:47. We're getting up to a high of 30 under nothing but sunny skies. And with that humidex right now, feels more like 27. Sean Shapiro is the TikTok cop, and he's a friend of the show. He's been here last segment, and he's back for another to take your calls at 416-870-6400, 1-888-225-TALK, and you can also text at 416-870-6400. Sean, sorry to rub it in because I know you haven't been outside yet.
It's okay. I'll make up for it later. I'll take my kids to the park. We'll have fun. It'll be great.
Beautiful. Okay, that's a plan. Let's go to Bill in North Toronto. Welcome to the Kelly Cutrara Show. Do you have a question for Sean?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I just want to ask, do the police ever sit with city officials and ever really discuss the traffic flow and what they can do to improve it? Because all I see when I go down to the city now is just obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, preventing motorists from just being able to drive. Whether it's bike lanes, St. Clair. I mean, why did they do light transit? Like, why didn't they just do underground? Like, it seems like the city planners years ago, when they did the whole Yonge Street subway line, had better foresight. Could you imagine if Yonge and University, those lines were up above ground?
Well, I don't know what goes into planning because I'm not a planner. I'm not an engineer. We do sit at the table and obviously deal with the stuff that's in our wheelhouse. We're usually asked about things we can answer. But do we get to make the decisions? That's probably outside of our pay grade. But you know what? I don't know the ins and outs. Sorry?
Do the city planners at least approach the police for information or advice?
Certainly.
I mean, you guys are out there. You see it every day. You know what's going on.
Yeah, we definitely sit on on different committees, and we definitely make our voices heard. But at the end of the day, what goes into the decision making process, we can only provide information, and it's not our decision as to what happens next.
Yeah, I have bad news for Bill as well. I know that down at Queens Quay, they're planning on putting an above ground subway situation as well. Like it'll come up from Union Station. So get ready because that's going to go right to, I believe, the distillery district. So it's going to be growing pains, a lot of growing pains. Daniel in Brampton, welcome to Kelly Cutrara Show.
Hey, good afternoon. My question is you guys are talking about the scooters and you're talking about the e-bikes, but what about the unicycles, the electric or motorized unicycles? Like they usually go, like the one that I'm looking at, honestly, it's like $5,500, very expensive, but they can go up to like right on the on the manufacturer's page. It says they can go up to 80 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, they're totally prohibited. They're not legal anywhere in Ontario. You can use them on private property. That's it. And we see them on the road. And we've also seen them in collisions where people have been incredibly injured, life-altering injuries as a result of their use. They don't have a braking system. They don't have a steering system. They're unsafe, and you'd be charged for using an unsafe motor vehicle, in addition to all of the charges related to having an uninsured motor vehicle. So definitely not something you want to use in the city, in the province, and anywhere. You're going to get hurt and you're not going to be covered. This is something where you're just going to be in a big world of hurt.
Yeah, because like I do see them in the cities, but I think I'll just stick to the motorcycle then.
You know what? I ride motorcycle.
$500.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Sean, you were saying you ride a motorcycle.
I ride motorcycle, mind you. I haven't been on it in a while because I was injured in a crash a number of years ago. But motorcycles I think are great. I love them. I've been riding since I was 16, and that is I think a great way to get around the city safely. Obviously, some people will argue that it's less safe than a car, and I can't argue that. But it's a great way to get around, and certainly, in my opinion, better than using e-bikes or one wheels or things that are not regulated or violating the rules. You can't buy a bicycle, have it treated like a motorcycle because you're going to modify it to go faster, and then at that point, just get a motorcycle. Just do it right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know about those unicycles. I haven't seen any in person, but I have seen them online, and you've got to have a death wish to want to ride one of those. I was keeping my eye. Speaking of online, I was on Twitter the other day, and it was a few weeks ago. I saw and saved this story for you. Toronto Constable Kirk Papadopoulos, great name to say, shared an update about a dangerous incident from March 31st. According to his tweet, the driver was driving too slow, 60 kilometers an hour on Highway 401. Can you speak to the charge for driving slowly on the highway?
Well, certainly. There's a charge under the HTA called unnecessary slow driving. It's not a specific speed, although there are some jurisdictions that have posted minimum speed limits. This is where you are driving so slow below the average speed of traffic that you're impeding traffic. You're causing an issue. Some would argue that if you do the speed limit on the 401, you're impeding traffic. I got a feeling about that. And I don't agree with it, but you can drive below the speed limit, but it can't be ridiculously unsafe. And 60 in a 100 zone when the average speed is going above the speed limit is a problem. You're causing people to swerve around you or to all merge to go around you. You're causing an issue, and you may very well cause a collision. When you're driving 10 kilometers under the limit, stay to the right. Definitely don't be in the passing lane. But there's nothing wrong with going the speed limit or below it, just not ridiculously below it.
Okay, I just got another text from someone who said that he wants to know about those 3-wheel covered bikes that people are driving. He said on O'Connor in St. Clair, I see this guy every night driving my cousin to work. It looks like I don't know, like a little delivery vehicle. It's quite small.
I
You know what I'm
don't.
talking about?
I don't
It's
know what we're
covered?
talking about. There are some vehicles that are under a pilot, which are slow-moving vehicles. They're not golf carts, but they're not cars, and there's a pilot that's active in the province. I don't believe they're currently permitted in Toronto, but I have to look into that. There are some e-bikes that people have that they have a housing on them, but they're being sold under the advertising that they're e-bikes, and I don't think that they fall under it. Quite frankly, I don't. But we're stretching here because I don't actually know what kind of vehicle he's referring to.
Okay. And I wish I could describe it, but I really can't. It's 2 wheels on the front, one in the back, and it's covered with a little cab. It's kind of interesting looking, that's for sure. It looks very European and James Bondy, except it can't go too quickly.
Interesting, because there are some personal mobility devices that have coverings on them specifically so that people can get around it in different weather, and that's covered as a mobility device. So it depends. It may be something legal, it may not be, but I'd love to know more about it. I'll have to do some digging.
That's interesting. Maybe we'll ask you next time. Listen, we have under a minute left, but the Ontario government wants to propose legislation that would prohibit most drivers from overtaking snowplows on the highway. Good idea?
I think it's great. That legislation is dealing with, identifying or making into law something that we've been talking about for years. We don't want people passing snowplows. It's dangerous. And when you look at some of these plows, they have trailers that can offset, and the idea is to be able to cover the entire road in one pass. It's in our best interest to wait behind them, but some people get impatient and do things that could have been covered under careless driving before, doing something unsafe, but there was no specific. So I like things that are very specific, and it is written out so we all understand it. So I'm all for this change.
All right. Well, Sean, that's it for another week. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Thanks so much for your time. Always appreciate it.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Take care. Have a great one. Great week. What day is it?
Yeah, you
Weekend.
enjoy the park with the kids.
Oh, they will enjoy it more than me, but I will get my sunshine in.
All right, perfect. Sean Shapiro is the TikTok traffic cop. He joins us every second Thursday at this time. And does this a solid. I love it because there's so many questions. We all don't know the rules of the road, yet we use them all the time. All right, are you faking a cold to get out of work? Oh, well, you might get caught if.
All right, we will say goodbye to the show. It is always great. It's nice to again, different questions, totally different perspectives. I love it. Thanks for popping in for this short one. I am going to go get some food because I have not eaten yet and I'm hungry. Yeah, it happens. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m., when we are joined by Aaron Urquhart from Parking Enforcement. And you want to bring those questions and meet us at 10 a.m. It's just what you should be doing. Check out our latest videos on TikTok and all our other platforms by visiting trafficop.ca, where you can not only get links to all the social media that we have, but useful links like how to renew your license, how to renew your plates, how to renew your, health card, how to buy a used car while checking to make sure it's not stolen, making sure that your friend's license is valid before lending them a car. All these things are really important, and we have links to help you along the way. Have a great day, everybody.